Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the most important level that you need to watch right now for Bitcoin over the next 24 hours, because that will tell you exactly if we're going to have a good start into October or if we actually going to get a Rectober. Don't miss out on that, and let's go, guys. So just give me here again a second to enter the chat with my phone. I always forget to do this straight away, but there we go, there we go. So yeah, we're gonna jump directly into today's content here. So on the weekly chart, I want to show you something. I think it was stochastic, yes. So why I'm not panicking right now with the current price action, because on the daily chart we're pulling back a little bit, and I see a lot of people calling for like a fake out that just happened here overnight, and this is actually not a fake out. So there is some simple techniques how you can look at things, and one of them is that you look here into these bottom sections of the RSI and what happened afterwards. Every single time here, bottom, oversold on the stochastic RSI. We are here again in oversold territory. Everything around 30, below 30 is oversold territory. So and here, when you look here, the last time where we were ranging in the oversold territory, we got a nice push to the upside. So then here again, move down, nice move to the upside. So what we do now, right now, we are just chopping sideways, the same what we did over here, and what was coming afterwards, a nice move to the upside. So I believe that during October, we're gonna have a nice Uptober, not a Rectober, and that we're gonna get here an amazing move to the upside, breaking again all-time highs with targets of $140,000, $150,000 here potentially being in the card. So and this is also underlined with the current support level here on the weekly chart that we are holding at $112,000 approximately. As long as we are staying above that level, we should also see here continuation into higher prices. So on the daily chart, like I said, it looks like that we are pulling back here because we hit the resistance of $115,000 approximately. And what did I tell you guys yesterday? I warned you about this. I warned you and said, if we're gonna see a push to the upside with a small short squeeze around $115,000, I will expect a small pullback, and the pullback could go as low as $112,000, 500, just slightly below the EMA ribbon, which we are currently experiencing. And from there, we should get then the break of this downward sloping trend line. So everything is going according to plan, exactly as I had pointed it out yesterday. So sorry, I need to clean my nose here really quickly. Sorry for that. Stupid nose running all the time. Yeah, so everything is going here according to plan, and you just need to follow the plan, guys. You know, so over the last 3 days, you could have made here amazing money just by following the simple plan that I had laid out here. So here, this chart we actually don't need. So here on the MDX Algo Scalp Gradients, also here, what did I tell you guys yesterday? I said, here is the first warning sign. We could pump here a little bit higher, but then shortly afterwards, we're gonna get the second dot plot here on the reactor indicator, and then it could be followed by a third one, but usually also already with the second one, we're gonna see here a small retrace. The retrace could line up with the weekly open at $112,000. We could potentially hit this, but if we do that, it will be a wick and then straight back to the upside if that would be actually come into fruition. Otherwise, 112,500 should be a major level from where we bounce back here to the upside. We see here a little bit of supply above us at around 115,800 to 116,200 more or less, and then here more concentrated around 117,800 to 118,600. This is the next level where I would be looking out for if I want to hold my position, if you have right now one, or start reducing it a little bit. Because as you can see here, and also over here, this acted as strong resistance. So here basically we broke support, and here it acted as strong resistance. We barely touched it, and then we went here all the way down to $107,000 before we found a footing again to go back to the upside. So be really, really careful when we approach that level again. I don't see Bitcoin flying straight through this. So that could be the next major pause for Bitcoin, where we're going to see some consolidation and then a bigger break past $120,000. So, but here the small pullback that we are seeing right now, I'm not really concerned about this. Here on the liquidation levels, also here you can clearly see that the over-leveraged liquidity was not taken out here, that I had spoken also yesterday about, here in that cluster from 112,600 to 114,800 approximately was everything taken out. We have now a little bit long liquidity building up here, over-leveraged long liquidity below us, but also this stops here at around $112,000, which is again in alignment what I've just shown you here. So even on the lower time frames, you see that there is a confluence popping up, that we should normally not go lower than $112,000 and bounce from there back to the upside, which would be also a brief drop below the 200 moving average. It does not look like right now that we would come down and touch the 50 and from there find and support. At the same time, we should also not ignore that we have here potentially an inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out. And for that to complete, we need maybe the next hourly candle, 22 minutes, to come a little bit lower and then start to turn around. And if we treat this as an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and here that would be our neckline. Here's the head, and then here could be your next target. So from 114,570 approximately to 119,500. So that is definitely a juicy trade. Here 4.42% more or less to the upside. That is definitely a trade worth taking here. And you don't need a lot of leverage for that. You know, so on Bitcoin you can do 25x. So you look almost here at 90 to 110% profit on this specific trade setup, because once we are clearing this over-leveraged short liquidity all the way up here to $118,000, we should get a nice short squeeze past 120,000. So, and the short squeeze, one of the short squeezes, a smaller one, will already be occurring when we reclaim $114,500 approximately. And you can see that here on the liquidation heat map. So you see here around 114,000. Okay, now it's actually already was taken out, but around $115,000. You see here some concentration of liquidity currently. Maybe if I go here to a weekly chart, we see it a little bit better. Yeah, there. See here, massive concentration, $115,000 above us, below us, imminently below us, not that much. So yeah, like I said, 112,000 could be here the local bottom from where we bounce then back to the upside, $115,000 once we're taking that out short squeeze to at least $117,000. Here on the 30 minutes chart, so the trade that I gave yesterday has perfectly played out. Again, we went higher than what I anticipated, but we want to play it safe, guys. We want to play it safe. We want to make sure that we make money. And for that reason, we take profit at the levels where we want to take profit. So, and it was a really good decision to take profit around these prior highs here and not try to chase, what is this? Maybe 1% more to the upside and try to squeeze it. So was it actually 1%? Yeah, okay, it was almost 1% more. So yeah, so we are not doing that. You know, we are not doing that. Yeah, 0.84%. Yeah, so I don't chase stuff like that, you know, so I rather take the setup that I have, you know, and I went already higher than the original target because I had a gut feeling that we're gonna go here, take out these highs, and then we reverse back to the downside. So for that simple reason, we were safe. If you played that, let me know in the chat. I would like to know if you were able to trade that. So, and now we are, of course, looking for the next setup that we can trade here. So, and for me, the next setup has not on the lower time frames unfolded yet. I gave you a higher time setup already, but on the shorter time frames, not really seeing anything right now massively what we could trade here. So, and for that simple reason, you need to be patient, you know. So you're not losing money if you wait for a trade. You're also not making money if you wait for a trade. We are preserving capital in that moment for the next bigger opportunity, you know. So you need to be like a sniper that is laying on the top of a mountain and waits that the target is running into the scope, you know. So that's what we are doing. We are waiting that our target runs into the scope, and when we are seeing it, then you pull the trigger and not before. So here on the 1 hourly chart, also here, everything goes absolutely according to plan. We got here a small pullback now. We have now finally Tuesday. That was expected. It's happening every single weekend. Or when we get out of a weekend, and we see something like that. And after that Tuesday pullback, you see things starting to accelerate to the upside. And this time will be no different. If you want to take any of these trades that I give you absolutely for free on this channel, guys, don't forget that you can sign up on Blowfin and get $5,000 worth of sign up bonuses and welcome bonuses. The link is in the description below. Go and check it out. And of course, you can also go to Bybit. Also there you get still up to $30,000 worth of bonuses. So here on the total free market cap, sorry guys, my eye is hurting like crazy because I did not have enough sleep yesterday. And my eyes need to get used to, again to looking so long at the screen. You know, that's also a problem. So yeah, but anyway, sorry for that. Here the total free market cap got rejected for now at the $1.09 trillion level, and is again getting squeezed between the downward sloping trend line that was acting as resistance before and the $1.09 trillion level. We can keep consolidating a little bit. That's absolutely fine. Don't see a major issue with that, but the longer we stay here in that current range, the more violent will be the breakout. Most likely at some point this week, latest by next week, in my opinion. Also, the Bitcoin dominance, nothing has really changed between today and yesterday. I told you guys we could see a move back to like 60% here on the dominance, but then I see definitely more downside. So where is this? So here, something like this is what I see here for the Bitcoin dominance over the next week or 10 days. What's going to happen here. So I'm going to leave it like that. Oh, sorry, I need to make this a little bit lower. So more like this is what I'm seeing here. Now, with Ethereum on the 1 hourly chart. So here, if you want to trade this, also here, trade was given yesterday. Look here, perfect execution on this trade if you would have caught that. Now, if you want to trade again, Ethereum, you need to wait for this break of this downward sloping trend line. Don't trade it before. And then the target for this, you have to be here a little bit careful with the potential target. So you're looking here at roughly at 1% with a scalp trade at this level here. So, but if we break that, so this is major resistance. If we break that, the next level would be here $4,300. So then you're looking at a 3-4% move to the upside from that break. Yeah, 3.5% to the upside. So again here, 10-20x leverage, absolutely fine. Stop loss, bottom of these two candles here to protect yourself. So if you trade this with 20x leverage, you will not wreck yourself here. Yeah, you lose 18% against a potential 70% profit. So that is absolutely fine here for a short-term trade. On the daily time frame, however, you see here that momentum is definitely shifting to the upside. The MACD is about to print a buy signal. The RSI wobbling sideways because we're here below the longest VPVR volume bar, which is acting as resistance here at $4,235. And the RSI is climbing here to the upside. So here we need just a little push over the edge, and then also Ethereum should be flying here once again. Solana comes back here to our original entry. I don't like how the RSI is looking and the stochastic is looking, so I would potentially observe this a little bit. I would not now go and chase this trade and enter just because we touch here the entry level again. because this looks like that we come a little bit lower. And then on the reclaim, that's when you want to enter this, only on the reclaim. So be here a little bit patient. The next one, Dogecoin. So here, Doge, sorry again. As long as Doge is holding up this upward sloping trend line here, I would start building a position every time when we are touching this upward sloping trend line. So right now, a touch on this trend line would be at around 22 cents 6 if we come down. And I think that we are not spending too much time here along this trend line anymore, because I see here the MACD turning around, the stochastic slowly pointing to the upside, the RSI going more or less sideways with a slight tick to the upside. So once we're breaking here 23.6 cents, I think that Doge will start flying again in direction here of the 30 cent mark really, really, really fast. So also here you can technically draw a line like this. So, but I don't like a line like this here right now for the simple reason that we could just keep pushing price sideways and then technically are breaking this downward sloping trend line. I would rather look here, at, like I said, at the 23.6 cent level as an indicator for a reversal and a big move to the upside. Then BNB, another one. Turn up my volume. The volume is fine. So if I make it louder, then some people will lose their ears soon. They're going to fly off. So BNB currently in the golden ratio. Here the extended golden ratio, the 1.618, 1.5. As long as we are holding this level, I would start also here building a position. Because once we are leaving this, this area, not only will we go into price discovery again, we will most likely fly to 1,500 to $1,800 approximately, to the 2.618 and the 3.618. I think I'm comfortable enough to lean me out of the window here a little bit and predict that we're gonna see potentially $2,000 for BNB in this cycle. So which is just 100% move now from the current price. But with everything what BNB has going on right now, especially with ASTER, I definitely see this playing out potentially. Because you have to understand, if you want to trade ASTER, the fastest way to do that is to bridge to BNB. So what do you need to bridge to BNB? You need BNB to do that. It's the same thing with the meme coins in the last couple of months with Solana. You know, you needed Solana to trade all these meme coins. With ASTER, it's quite similar, the same. So here, ASTER pulling back on the 1 hourly chart where we are talking about this. Not really surprised because we have tomorrow. At least people say it's tomorrow. I'm not pretty sure because some people say it's the 1st, some people say it's the 5th. With that airdrop, $700 million. No, actually it is the 5th. So on the 5th, you have $700 million worth of ASTER tokens getting distributed. So and tomorrow you have a Binance listing for ASTER. That's what it was. So tomorrow you have the ASTER Binance listing. So and that we are pulling back in that regard is not really surprising here. So I'm still holding my position. I will not be shaken out because the next time that we come here above this downward sloping trend line, that's it, guys. You know, the next time that we break above this, that's it. And then first stop, golden ratio. Next stop, 0.786 at $2.20. And then here, $3.16, $3.02. And that will happen really, really quickly, really quickly. So you see here the RSI starts to be oversold. The stochastic is already oversold. The MACD is also bearish. So here, give that another 8 hours and it should start to turn around 8 to 12 hours, and this should start fairly to turn around here back to the upside. So here, current levels, good to add to your position. If you want to wait a little bit longer and potentially miss here a move, I just want to point this out, you could miss the move. You could set a limit order for $1.73, 72, but I would be not so sure that you actually get that. So let me go here into a higher time frame. Yeah, also here, I see momentum already shifting back to the upside, even here. So you have potentially not, doesn't look good that you get here $1.72, 73. here $1.75 is a lower high compared to these lows here. Higher low, sorry, higher low. Higher low compared, yeah, over here. So you might not get that, you know, so it could be that it was that already, you know, and now we are going back to the upside to past $1.85. So then the next one is again SUI. SUI is currently holding above that green box here, where we want to open a new position. As long as we are holding that green box and staying within that falling wedge pattern, good time to buy. Good time to buy, but you need to be a little bit patient for that breakout, because this is a daily chart, you know, so the breakout will happen somewhere in the middle of this month, most likely. If we are completing this falling wedge pattern and starting from there to break out of this, you know, so the target would be $4.44. So if you accumulate here from that green box, you're looking at almost a 38.5% move to the upside. But you have to be patient for that, you know. So, but if you trade this with 10x, you know, you look almost at 300. What is that? What did I just say? 300. What you're looking at? 385%. So almost a 4x. And but you have to wait for 2 weeks potentially for that, 2 or 3 weeks. So you have to decide for yourself if that's worth the wait. Otherwise, yeah, trade something else and check in here like in a week, maybe in 10 days, you know, so and see where the price is, and then you can still accumulate while we are in that falling wedge pattern before we get a breakout. So let me see. I have a couple more minutes left. AERO. Oh wait, this AERO. I did not chart this in a really long time. I don't know if I actually charted this. Oh, my eyes. Sorry, guys. Also here, yeah. That looks on the first look here like a falling wedge pattern. Also here, yeah, patience. Third, fourth week of October, that looks like a breakout. So if you want to get an alarm when this is most likely breaking out, set an alert at like 122. You know, 122 is where I would set an alert. Once it's above that level, it's safe to enter. You know, so you can of course buy here at the bottom, but be aware that you have also more risk. And I would definitely set a stop loss on leverage and on spot at around 90 cents. So that is a 10% move to the downside. So don't over leverage yourself here. You know, so don't over leverage yourself here. Use maybe 3-4x on this, not more than that. You know, so you can crank up leverage when you break $1.22. Guys, I want to keep these streams a little bit shorter again, so I'm gonna run. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll see you then again in another stream tomorrow.